3.
Hey everyone, good morning. It's morning in Australia right now. How's the weather, Taylos?
As you can see, it's cold.
It's winter.
Is that why I've been cold all day? I've been wondering. It's like July in Utah and I'm wearing a sweatshirt. I'm blaming you.
Yes, it was -1 degree Celsius this morning on the way to work.
Wow. And it's 90 degrees in Pennsylvania. So true opposite sides of the world. Well, we have a special guest today. Welcome, Rose Stein. Hello.
Hello. Good morning, everybody on the other side of the earth.
We're absolutely delighted to have Rose Stein. She's a good friend of ours, and she has a lot of really great expertise to share with us today. So, Rose, could you introduce yourself and tell us who you are and who you help?
Wow. Okay. So how long do I have for this introduction? You want me to start at like where I was born?
Whatever feels right in the moment, I guess.
You go, girl. You go, girl. All right. So my name is Rose Stein, and I am the founder of a program called Button Those Jeans. And I have just been having an absolute wonderful time sharing my passion and my purpose with busy women who just want to feel comfortable and confident in their body without starving, without missing out. So that's my jam right now, and I'm loving it.
Yeah, it's been great. And I just want to thank you personally. I've participated in your program and it's been great. And I just want to say thank you so much. You've helped me on so many different things and you're always there whenever I have questions, reach out just to make sure I'm right on track. So thank you so much, Rose.
You are definitely welcome. I will say that this was not the path that I wanted for myself. Like when I was a little girl, that was not something that I ever dreamed about. I don't even know, now that thinking about it, I'm not even sure what my dreams were of my future, but it certainly wasn't this. I didn't want to talk about health. I didn't want to talk about my body. I didn't want anyone looking at me in that way. I didn't want to not indulge in whatever it is that I wanted to eat. You know what I mean? Like, I just wanted people to leave me alone, and I wanted to do what I wanted to do. And through the course of years and years of suffering and pain and confusion around my body and growing into being a woman and my weight and food and all of the rigmarole of that, and my search, my endless searching for some peace around that. And when I finally was blessed with that kind of peace, I went, oh my gosh, I have to share this. And so now it is just an absolute joy. And I realized that I wasn't alone. You know, I mean, I thought that I was alone and everyone else that like, I mean, I didn't even have an opinion on what people looked like. I just knew that whatever you look like, you were happier than me. You know, you were more comfortable in your body than I was. You had more confidence than I did. You had it all together, some kind of secret that I didn't know. And what I've realized is that actually is not true. We're all a little bit weird, and we're all a little bit crazy, and we're all a little bit needy, and we're all a little bit twisted, and we're all a little bit, you know, full of joy and love and compassion and wanting to feel that and express that and have good relationships with each other. Sometimes we just don't really know how to do that.
Yeah.
So that like deep compassion for myself is been a turning point for me as well. So it's like, oh yeah, we're all just in this together. Right on.
Yeah, definitely. And every time you share, like you were part of the Masterful Manifestors. And really, every time you would share, you would bring an open heart and love and compassion to the group. And so it was always so wonderful when you'd share with us and you'd have posts and you'd encourage one another. How was it for you as far as being part of the Masterful Manifestors group?
Man, you know how sometimes you just don't really understand something until somebody else shines a light on it, right? Like you're there, you're in the middle of it, you're doing the thing, but there wasn't, you know what I mean? It was just kind of like, I don't even know how I ended up there. I think you just posted something. You're like, hey, let's make $1 million in 90 days. And all of us were like, yeah, You know what I mean? Me too. And then we just started this thing, and it was just this really beautiful, organic, I mean, I don't know what it was like behind the scenes for you guys. I mean, obviously it was a lot more than what my experience was, because here we are and you guys have created something from that. But for me, it was just kind of like, oh yeah, where are we going? We're going over here. And I just was going along for the ride until actually the other day, Taylos contacted me and he was like, hey, so have you thought about, joining the next one? And I was like, no, dude, no, I can't, no, I don't have time for that. I can't be bothered with, I just can't even fathom in my life, like adding one more Zoom class. Like that was cool. It was cool. I mean, I showed up every week. 100% it benefited my life. 100%. I would not be where I am today without it. But I just couldn't deal with that. And then he posted a live where he was just sharing his own experience, which is like really what and I think all of us resonate more with, is like that personal experience and the way that other human beings see things and the way it affected them. And when he was talking about, having this group and the consistency and the intentional high vibration, and even because we weren't always high at the same time, you know what I mean? Or like life happens every week, life is happening, and then COVID hit, and here we are in this really powerful, intentionally progressive, intentionally high vibration, intentionally forward moving, intentionally lifting each other up place where we are, everyone else is going like that. And all of us are like, woo, like going this way. And I didn't even really have words for it or understand it in that way of like, holy cow. Wow. That's the reason why I'm where I'm at today. And everyone else I know, well, of you guys, right? Well, we're all over here, like feeling really good and really powerful and really positive, even though there's a lot to do and a lot to work on and a lot to heal. And so many people I know are struggling so deeply with life, meaning, purpose, energy, food cravings. Like, just like goes on and on. So as soon as Taylor shared that, I was like, wow. And then that thought of the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. And I have thought about that definition a million times in my life and really tried to do something different in so many areas, like to get different results. Try anything. And he said, something's got to work better than this. And then it switched around, and it was like, no, real insanity is not doing something that did work. Like, why would you stop doing something that was working for you? Anyway, so that is how I ended up here. Again, I was like, oh my God, you're totally right. I see it. I feel it. I need it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so true. So beautiful. And I'm so glad you're back, because you provide such energy to the group, and it's a wonderful to have you with us again. So thank you for joining us.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you guys. Oh my God, you built this. You created this. It's so cool. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Rose. That's great to hear. I love watching your lives too. Like, you bring so much energy to the conversation. It's really, really great. So I've done hypnosis work that you've provided me, and I get a lot out of it. But how would you describe hypnosis in regards to transformation for anyone else who's watching that may not, come across it in their everyday life?
Yeah, I'm not sure who comes across hypnosis in their everyday life. Not many people.
The three of us now do, thanks to you.
We do now, right? Exactly. Yes. Hallelujah. Amen. I love it. So how that actually transformed, how that actually, came into my life was I was taking some back classes because I have a bachelor's degree in mass communications, and I didn't really know exactly what I wanted to do. I knew I didn't want to do that, and I knew I'd like to help people, and I knew I liked art. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to be an art therapist. So I was taking some back classes in a couple art and a couple in psychology so that I could apply for a master's degree in art hypnotherapy. This was back in 2008. And long story short, I ended up meeting my son's father. And when I met his father, he, we were talking and getting to know each other and all that kind of stuff. And he was like, "Oh, so you're interested in helping people?" And I said, "Yeah, absolutely." He said, "Okay, well, let me show you something that actually works." And that was my introduction to hypnotherapy. And he had been a hypnotist for, and still is, very successful for 30 years. I guess that was 10 years ago. So 40 years now. Oh my God, that's crazy. That's crazy. So he introduced me to hypnotherapy. He's like, "Okay, like, read this book, do this thing, do this class, come over here, watch me do this." He let me sit in on a couple of sessions. He gave me a couple of scripts. He said, "Why don't you work at this place over here? Because then you don't have to worry about getting the clients. You don't have to worry about anything but honing your skill. Just see clients and hone your skill and learn how to do it." And I worked at that place for almost 5 years, 4 or 5 years. And it was so wonderful. So again, that I wasn't, the way that I was introduced to it, it wasn't for any particular issue that I had, right? It wasn't like, "Oh, I have an issue, I'm gonna go see a hypnotherapist," and then go, "Oh my God, this is amazing, I'm gonna learn how to do this." It was just like, "Oh, well, if you really want to help people, like, you need to understand how the mind works, and let me show you." And that was my avenue into hypnotherapy. So it was always more of a professional thing. So when I worked for that place for, that 5 years, I began to notice pretty quickly that even just saying the words, like, reading the scripts at first, and then getting into the vibe, and then understanding the flow and the techniques, and then really making it my own, I began to see very quickly that there was side effects on my own self. Like, suddenly I'm drinking more water. Like, suddenly I'm not gaining weight anymore. Yeah, exactly. Suddenly I go, "Oh my God, I haven't had candy in 3 months. Wow. Right? Like, yeah, it was cool that other people were getting results, but like, they came in, they wanted something. And I began to realize how powerful words are. And I began to study a little bit more about that and learn a little bit more about NLP. And it's just been, so I guess that was 2008. I got certified in 2008, and I've been doing hypnosis since then. I could have took a couple detours in my life and did other things, but
And I've got to say, you've got like the smoothest voice ever. Like, your hypnosis are just like instantly. It's just wonderful for it.
Totally. Which is so funny. Life is so funny like that, because when I was a kid, so like this kind of pretty deep for a woman, I don't have a high pitched woman's voice, pretty deep voice, I've had since I could talk. So like, imagine this like 3-foot little girl walking around this like super deep, kind of raspy, froggy voice. Like, I used to be teased in elementary school. They used to call me Frog Girl. The principal in my elementary school called me Rosie the Tiger, because like, I just had this like booming, like loud, froggy. Oh my God, which is so funny. And of course, flash forward years later, and people are now sleeping to the sound of my voice. It's awesome.
Well, I say you've got the voice of an angel, so
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that sleep to the sound of Rose's voice. I listen to her voice at least 3 times a day at this point. I'm working with her. She is virtually holding my hand through my own very invigorating transformation. It's been 6 weeks, and it's just a whole shift, not just in, of course, my eating habits, and I have lost weight, but also just it's a whole mindset of who I am and the love that I need to have for myself. And it's just absolutely wonderful. And I just I love every single moment of this transformation, and knowing that I have somewhere to go, and I have Rose, and I have the people in her program to lean on, that we're not by ourselves at all. So Rose, I would love to know, what do you have going on that maybe people can plug into to kind of get a taste of what working with you is like?
Yes, thank you for asking that. We love when people come into our little world. You know, I always do a big welcome. I'm like, I'm so glad you chose to join us. It's so cool. So I do actually have an upcoming web class, a free web class that I am hosting Monday evening. You can go right over to my website, rosesteincoaching.com, super simple, and register for that. So Monday evening, I'm going to be letting everybody know the 3 ways to take back control and lose weight. That's my name.
Perfect. All right. Awesome. We'll go ahead and link that in the comments below. It's been so wonderful chatting with you today, Rose. I just love every minute that I get to spend with you. And we're just so appreciative that you took the time to come on our show and be our first inaugural interview.
Yay, right.
So cool. Thank you. Thank you. Such an honor. And I'm so proud of the 3 of you too for really putting this together because I need it. I need it.
We all need it.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.